Hello everybody, Levi Clay here, back again to do another live transcription video. This time I'm going to be working on a Per Nilsson solo taken from his ska guitar video. This is a Guitar Messenger instructional video. It's excellent. I highly recommend you check it out. Loads of great examples on here, Per showing you some awesome licks, tricks and phrasing concepts he uses. There's also a ton of great improvisations on here that aren't transcribed, and I'm a transcriber, so why not do some transcribing? This is one of our monthly transcription challenges in my Patreon group, and some of my patrons have already had a stab at transcribing this, so I thought I'd show everybody my approach to this. So here is that solo. I've got it open in Transcribe, as you can see. Now, Transcribe is great if you're unfamiliar with Transcribe. It means I can open an audio file or a video file. I can loop it, slow it down. I've got videos about this on my channel, well worth checking out. You can purchase it via the link on my channel, and I make a few dollars, and you don't have to spend any more money. So it's a great way to support this channel, and it makes transcribing very easy. So when I hit play, the video plays, the audio plays. Perfect. I've also got Guitar Pro open. So this is a free time solo. Per is not playing to a click track. So my approach for transcribing this is going to be about writing it in a way that when you read it, you create the same sort of phrasing. You could interpret it in the way he does it by pushing and pulling the time, rather than trying to create a complex tempo map so the MIDI playback is exactly the same as the original. There's, in my opinion, very little value in that. Well, there's value to it, but you have to put in a lot of time to do it. And the time to value ratio just is way off, in my opinion. So when I work on this, I'm going to focus on that readability aspect. And this is great because one of my other patrons, Bruce, has already transcribed a bunch of this, and he's written it out in a very different way to the way I'd write it. So it's cool to see how different transcribers will approach the same sort of thing. Obviously, regular transcriptions in time aren't open to interpretation, but this one very much is, because there is no context of the pulse. We all interpret where the pulse is slightly differently. The other aspect of that is because there is very little rhythm work needed on this, you can tackle a transcription like this and just use it as a way of practicing your note recognition. So hearing a note and just worrying about finding that note on the instrument. My way of doing that is I hear a phrase, I sing the phrase, and then I play the phrase. Now obviously I'm going to do this without a guitar because I've been transcribing a long time. Probably don't need a guitar now. But don't be afraid to get stuck in with a guitar on this. This is about trying to help you increase your vocabulary and see how a great player like Per approaches a scale like Mixolydian flat 6. So let's write it out. Now I consider that to be the first section, so I'll work on that. Now well, I'll write it out and you'll see what I mean about pushing and pulling with the time. So what I hear when I hear that is ba, da, da. Whoops. Ba, da, da. Too high, shouldn't be singing that high. And he slides down. So the way I've written that phrase is not exactly the way Per is playing that, but in terms of the way that's written, that looks great on the page. Ba da ba da da ba da 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 da. Now he holds that note a bit longer. So many ways I could approach that. I could write it as a bar of 9/8 and just have that note in eighth note. Like, you just don't want to do that kind of stuff. You could also put a fermata in there like this, put a short fermata to tell you that that note is held. But again, I just want it to look good on the page. So there's my first phrase. Now he then repeats that rhythm. And moves through different sounds. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. Control C, Control V type stuff. Is there a slide there? He does slide from 12 down to, what is that, 8? It's ba 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 da. So now that's how I might write something like that. There we go. Now if I hit play on that, it's going to stop playing. He's still playing. There we go. Hit play on that, it's not going to play back exactly as the audio is going. I apologise for the lag in the video on this. I know it's happening. It's the new Logitech Brio camera and it's really annoying me, but I don't know how to battle it at the moment. So when I play this, it's, like I say, not exactly going to be how Per is playing here, but it's enough for you to learn from. Might even change that to that. Yeah, I prefer that. So, readable. Now if we jump over to my patron Bruce's work, he's written this in a very different way, and I feel that they're both acceptable. When you look at Bruce's, the only thing I don't like about Bruce's thing is, well, we've got the dotted eighth here with a triplet 30-second note. It's hard to read stuff like that. It's also the bar of 2/4 in there. I just feel that it adds more complexity than there needs to be. But if I opened a book that came with this product, and this one does have a tab book that comes with it. I'm pretty sure this stuff isn't in there though. So if I was to open a tab book and something like what Bruce has done here was in there, I certainly wouldn't judge it. I would certainly look at that and go, yeah, fair, good job, good job. The other thing you could do with mine, I've written it with a slow pulse, so ba 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 ba. What's the note? Ba, da, da, ba, da, 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 da. Whereas Bruce has this da, 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 ba, ba. To me, it's a slower thing. If I wanted to write it the way Bruce has written it, I can just highlight everything like that. And in fact, I'll tell you what, let's just put that in here. Lots of writing. Now I would Control X there, put that there, Control Delete that, Control X that, and that. So now the way I've written it there, to me that looks a lot closer to the way Bruce has written things. And that works. It really is down to taste on how you want to write this stuff out. I kind of like both. Neither of those offend me. So that's our first phrase. Oh, you also might want to put chord symbols in here. So when I look at this, because this is about learning how to play Mixolydian flat 6 vocabulary. So while this all takes place over like an A7 chord, I could come in and I could write the actual implied chord sounds. So I could put a G in there. Oh, I don't like it when we have the display diagram on. So I could put a G in there, and this is kind of a D minor over F. This is a D minor. And then back to A. I don't know why I put G first. It's not G at all, is it? I was just looking at the first note. So it's an A sound. So it's like an A triad. This here is an open voiced A triad. This is a D minor triad. This again is a D minor triad. And then hitting that third, moving up to the fifth, and then ending on the root sounds like an A. So you could put stuff like that in. Now, repeat. Well, not quite a repeat, but... So that in itself is a phrase to me. And to my ears, rather annoyingly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write... You could do something like this. I could put lick 1 like that, and then lick 2. Could put time codes and things in for this. Whoops. Now I hear that as a faster phrase here. Oops. Yeah, no, I definitely don't like it at that. So So again, just looking at the phrase, just barring beaming things, not about perfect replication of what Per has played. It's about, can I read this phrase and do I interpret it the way he's played it? In fact, let me put key signature in. A in there, good. That way I can see, I prefer Mixolydian flat 6. I want to put it in the key of A, and that way I'll be able to see that all of my G's are flattened. Well, they're naturals now. And let's spot, there we go, the F natural. I can see that natural, F being the 6th. I can see that it's flattened again, so I can say, well, there's a flat 7 and a flat 6 here. This is Mixolydian flat 6. So this phrase, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, ba da 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 ba ba da 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 da. Pitching way off, not a sight singer, but it's about that phrase. So now that's a good representation of his phrase, what he plays there. Now we're busting out a little bit more and we're playing some wider interval licks. I will just quickly go back in and I'll put D minor over F, and this is very much a G. He does play G there. And then, yeah, so I hear that as resolving to A. So D minor, G and A. We can use these as ways of understanding how Per is approaching these Mixolydian flat 6 sounds. So again, hear the phrase ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da. Whoops. Now you see how I'm working here? I hear a phrase, ba 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 da da da. How does he phrase that? Now getting the phrasing right here. Yeah, I like that. I knew the note, I just couldn't input it. Oops. So to finish that, very Holdsworth this phrase, isn't it? Where are we? I'm just gonna bring a space there so we can work on that. I'm lost. We're there. I like that. Now I feel the phrasing has disappeared a little bit here with the 16th note, so I'll fix it. See, the phrasing has kind of died a little bit there, but we could end that phrase like that. Now, like I say, you could play around with the phrasing a little bit here, make it look better on the page. But for the most part, that's that lick. I'm going to leave it there. Record it. That's each of those licks, and they all sound good. You can learn from this. You can understand how Peer approaches using Mixolydian flat 6 from this. This is a good lesson. This is a masterclass. I need to just fix that as well, don't I? Because I hate when Guitar Pro does that, with these slides. Okay, that all looks good. Right, so there we have it. 3 licks, and that's 31 seconds. So it's half of this solo. And that is how I approach transcribing some free-time Per Nilsson Mixolydian flat 6 stuff. Very cool, and I highly recommend that you check that video out if you want to learn to play more like Per. If you would like to learn to transcribe, join me on Patreon. Like these... Oh, change my video size. There we go. Like these awesome people do. These guys all support me over on Patreon. $10. Massively appreciative of those guys. They get to be involved in things like this. They're all transcribing this solo as well, and I'm giving them feedback on their work and helping them to improve their ability to do stuff like this, and that's an awesome skill to have and to develop. So if you would like to join us on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the button up here somewhere. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here. Check out 2 more of my videos here and here. Thank you so much for checking these videos out, guys. Any questions, drop them in those comment boxes. Your love and support is appreciated. I'll see you for another video soon. Bye.